Hey guys, this is Al. It's Sunday, the 6th of April. Back at the shop. It is freezing here today, so 2 days ago it was 30 degrees Celsius, now it's 4. That's the Texas weather for you. So this car seems to be doing pretty well. As you can see, I have a blanket over it, and the reason I have a blanket over it is because every so often the cat, I guess, that had the litter inside this car is trying to get into the car. So you can see a little bit of paw prints. I thought about bringing the kittens back. I don't know how good of an idea it is, because I did have a comment about it. Obviously I can't leave them in there because they do make a mess, and they do have claws, and they do scratch things up. The weather's gotten a little bit cold, so I can't leave them outside because they'll likely freeze to death. The mother doesn't come very often. I have a camera right here on these cars, so I know when there's movement in the shop. So yeah, so it's kind of a tough situation. Would love to trap the mother, and I did speak to my neighbour, and he said that he will try to trap her, and if he can, then we'll get them all together. But if not, then I'm going to try to get them adopted, because I think they have a much better chance of surviving as pets than they would as feral animals. I used to keep, wouldn't say keep, but I used to look after a couple of feral cats at my house. And one by one they got picked off, because we do have bobcats over here, and we do have coyotes, and I have seen bobcats right there, and in the alleyway behind my house, so I know that they're around. So I think they'll have a better chance being adopted if they're pets and not feral cats. But that said, let's get back to the car. So I'm not doing much work today. What I'm going to be trying to get done, one of the things that I really struggle with is keeping these cars on the chargers. So every time I get a trickle charger, I get one of these charging cables that has little forks on it, and then I get the type that has little O-rings on it, and those usually have a fusible connection. So what I'm really going to spend most of my time doing today is cutting the ends of these off, soldering one of these fusible connections in, and then sticking O-rings at the end of them so that I can permanently mount these little plugs. And what that'll allow me to do is just basically have every one of these cars with one of these little chargers on it, at least charging cables already on it. I don't think you really need the fusible connection, because this is the positive side, and obviously it's insulated, but it's probably a good safety aspect just in case something kind of sticks itself in there. But like, for example, on the 928, which I'll do a video on in a couple of days, you really have to take the entire trunk out, in order to get to the batteries underneath the spare wheel. So having a cable that basically just comes out where you can just open the trunk and plug a charger in makes life really easy. So that's what I want to do. The reason I have this blanket on, as I mentioned, is because the cat does try to come over here and kind of sniff around this car, and obviously he's trying to get in. The problem is that this plastic window, while the window itself is fine, the stitching has gone through, so that's really how it got in to the car in the first place. So I'm going to have to put like a blanket over here, and maybe put like a piece of wood or something, up against the blanket to stop it from doing that. because I don't want them tearing up the interior. I mean, it's bad enough as it is with the wood and my wood veneering skills and everything else like that. But so far, I still need to dial it in. I've got to figure out how to do plug the CO2. So maybe I'll stick a wide band on 260 so that I can get the airfield to shake out. So the only other problem that I have with the only other running problem that I have with this car is that the alternator is a little bit lazy. It's got one of those GM alternators, and usually if you run a cable from one of the poles on the side of the alternator and back and loop it back round to the live wire on the back of the alternator will start self-regulating as it spins and start running at 13 and above volts. This one doesn't. It takes a while, maybe sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes less, before the voltage regulator the alternator gets excited, and then it basically starts charging. So I need to figure that problem out. Obviously I need to figure out the soft top. And as you can see, and you can kind of just tell from the material on the back of that bow that bow is rotten. So I'm going to have to replace that bow, and I'm not sure if I can replace it without tearing up the entire soft top. I'm obviously going to need to take it apart, so whichever way it happens, either I replace the soft top or I don't. But I'm going to try to replace that bow because it's rotten. And because it's rotten, there's nothing for this piece to hold on to, this piece over here, and obviously nothing for the soft top material to staple onto either. And you can see the material itself isn't that badly torn, and it's not really damaged in itself. This is obviously got a bunch of staples in it, but it's not really damaged. So if I can put this all back together again, or take out all the staples, replace this bow, which is just totally rotten, then I may be able to save the top. Who knows? So I'd like to figure out what's involved in that, and then you can see the paw prints. Then I've got to figure out this alternator over here. And as you can see, I just basically put like a wire, which is typically how you voltage regulate with these old GM, what are they called? Remy Delco 10SI or 12SI alternators. But that's not really helping, so I'm not sure exactly what I need to do on that section. AC still holds the charge. It's a little bit low. I was actually going to swap these connections out because they're actually wrong. This guy's the actual high side, and then that one's the low side over there, the thick one. But when I tried to undo them, there was still some freon, so I just tightened it back on again, and I'll just figure it out with the gauges and just flip the lines on the gauges out. Yeah, so the building's coming along nicely on the other side. We've got the sheetrock all the way up. We've got the roof all the way in. So now it's really just a matter of painting it, putting some floors down. I'm thinking either vinyl plank or maybe just acid staining the concrete itself and just going with the concrete. And then that way you don't have to worry about any kind of, like, if there's any leaks or anything else like that, it's fine. And then put the bathroom in. So we're going to get one of those one-piece shower enclosures and just go straight up to the stud, and we don't have to worry about it, and then we can just sheet rock the rest. And I think it'll be ready. I'll be back in a couple of days to talk about the 928. I got to buff it because it's where it was sitting over there, the roof leaked a little bit, and there's a bunch of hard water stains. It'd be a real shame if I have to repaint this car again, just for the reason that I just had it painted. Well, when I say I just had it, I painted it before I parked it, but there's a bunch of acid water stains, and I don't know whether I can get them out, so we'll see. The M6 as well is parked in the same spot. I just painted that before I parked it. I parked them both at the same time, so that might have the same problem. I suspect that I'll probably sell this car, this 928, for the simple reason I don't drive it. I do really like the car, and I have a great story behind it because I bought it with a friend of mine who's now passed away. But I'll tell that story in the next video. But that's it pretty much. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Take care.